Today, April 8th, is Diamond Day. But did you know that this holiday is just the tip of the iceberg of history's most cynical deals? We'll tell you how De Beers diamonds created the Third Reich's war machine. In September 1935, the 7th Congress of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, and a simultaneous session of the Reichstag took place in Nuremberg. At these events, the Reich citizenship law and the law for the protection of German blood and German honor were adopted, supplemented by relevant bylaws. These laws and bylaws were signed by the Führer and Reich Chancellor Adolf Hitler, and were fully consistent with his political and ideological doctrine, as set out in Mein Kampf, published in 1926. Here are a few illustrative quotes from these documents. A Jew cannot be a citizen of the Reich. He shall not have the right to vote on political matters, and he may not hold public office. Marriages between Jews and citizens of German or related descent are prohibited. Marriages concluded in violation of this law are invalid, even if they are concluded abroad with the intention of circumventing this law. Extramarital relations between Jews and citizens of German or related descent are prohibited. Furthermore, it is prohibited to marry if it is expected that the resulting offspring will endanger the purity of German blood. At the end of this historic NSDAP Congress, a pleasant bonus awaited the most distinguished party functionaries. They were presented with diamond award rings depicting a swastika, manufactured by the firm Fahner, the largest German jewelry exporter to England and the United States. The laws passed at Nuremberg in 1935 were fundamentally different from all known manifestations of state anti-Semitism. Before these laws, Jewishness was determined solely by religious affiliation, and even a formal conversion from Judaism to Catholicism, or, for example, Protestantism, or Orthodoxy, followed by assimilation, liberated a person from the state's oppression, and opened up social mobility. The Nazis, for the first time, applied a biological criterion. Now, neither religious affiliation, nor service to the state, nor wealth, education, qualifications, nor social standing, nothing was taken into account. Only origin, race, a factor beyond the will of a specific individual. This approach was entirely based on Hitler's discoveries set forth in Mein Kampf. It is well known that the Jews have always been the greatest virtuosos of virtuosos in the art of lying. After all, the very existence of Jews is built on the great lie that Jews represent not a race, but merely a religious community. But it's one thing for such insights to come to a poorly educated loser, especially one shell-shocked in the Great War, and quite another when they become laws signed by the leader of a state with a powerful economy. The Nuremberg race laws weren't a secret doctrine known only to a small circle of initiates. They were a public act, a showcase, if you will, of the Nazi state, and they left no doubt about how that state would develop. The Wannsee Conference and the final solution to the Jewish question were still a little over 6 years away, but the path to the Holocaust began in 1935 at Nuremberg, and this was already clear to everyone. Now let's compare 3 well-known facts. 1. In 1935, Germany passed the anti-Semitic Nuremberg race laws. 2. In 1938, the last year before the war, Germany became the world leader in industrial diamond imports, 1,700,000 carats. The United States came in second, with 1,400,000 carats. 3. Since 1934, the global diamond market has been completely controlled by a monopoly run by ethnic Jews. Thus, by the time Hitler came to power and established a fascist dictatorship in Germany, the global diamond market was a fully established monopoly. In 1934, the Diamond Trading Company, DTC, was founded, controlling up to 95% of global diamond sales. DTC was 100% owned by the Diamond Corporation, which, in turn, was 80% owned by De Beers Consolidated Mines. The core of the owners and senior management of these entities were Jews, primarily members of the Oppenheimer and Barnato clans. De Beers' largest scythe holder, supplying industrial diamonds to Germany before the war, was L.M. van Mops and Sons, also owned by Jews. The historical reasons why the global diamond business became largely Jewish are well known, and need not be discussed here. But it is worth noting that, although these Jews had passports from different countries, and could belong to different faiths, from the standpoint of the Nuremberg Laws this did not matter in the least. At the same time, industrial diamonds began to play a key role in mechanical engineering, particularly in engine manufacturing. In 1925, the German company Osram received a patent for a superhead material consisting of an agglomerate of tungsten carbide and cobalt. The patent was acquired by Krupp, and the new material was introduced to the market in 1927 under the brand name Whittier, We Diamond, like diamond. In 1928, production of Whittier analogs began in the United States, and in 1929 in the USSR. The advent of these materials revolutionized metalworking. The speed and precision of steel cutting increased by orders of magnitude. However, sharpening and finishing cutters made of Whittier and similar materials required diamond tools. In 1932, Dutch engineer Peter Neven patented a technology for producing diamond abrasive tools for the mechanical engineering, optical, and stoneworking industries. The process involved mixing industrial diamonds with metal powders, heating the mixture to the point of sintering, and then pressing it. Neven's technology sparked a rapid growth in diamond tool production in the most technologically advanced countries, primarily Germany and the United States. Such tools, in particular, made it possible to machine the internal surfaces of internal combustion engine cylinder blocks, as well as various hydraulic and pneumatic devices, with a purity several grades higher than that achieved with conventional abrasives, significantly increasing the service life and power of these components. The coming war was destined to be a war of engines, and diamond tools made it possible to create engines for combat vehicles with the required characteristics. But not only engines, the production of gearboxes, reduction gears, bearings, sights, quartz resonators, and wires for electrical and radio equipment was no longer possible without diamond tools. A widespread view is that the pre-war collaboration of the Jewish diamond business with the Nazis can be explained by the crisis that the diamond industry experienced in the mid-1930s as a result of the Great Depression. By 1937, De Beers reserves were estimated at 40 million carats, and the diamond monopoly was on the brink of bankruptcy. The Oppenheimers allegedly even considered dumping some of these reserves into the sea to prevent them from reaching the market in the event of De Beers' liquidation by creditors. Proponents of this theory often like to use the catchy metaphor: the diamond industry was saved by the invention of the diamond grinding wheel. They often forget, however, to add that this wheel was predominantly German. Indeed, demand for industrial diamonds was enormous in the 1930s. For the first time in the market's history, their value equaled that of gem-quality diamonds. Yet, the hypothesis that diamond market leaders collaborated with the Nazis simply to rescue the industry from crisis and generate additional profits is difficult to accept. The board members of De Beers, DTC, and Diamond Corporation were ruthless businessmen, financiers, and strategists whose political outlook and planning horizons far exceeded those of most contemporaries, including popular politicians. Otherwise, they simply would not have been able to create such a remarkable business. They could not have failed to understand that Hitler needed diamonds primarily for the production of weapons, with which he hoped to build a new world in which they themselves simply had no place. The speed of development of the Nazi military machine astounded contemporaries. Hitler came to power in 1933, while the Versailles Treaty was still in effect, prohibiting Germany from possessing many types of weapons, including combat aircraft. But by 1936, the Condor Legion, armed with the latest Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighters and Heinkel He 111 bombers, superior in performance to all European and American counterparts, dominated the skies over Spain. Germany's rapid militarization was obvious, as was the prominent role of diamonds in this process. And this was not only due to Germany's global leadership in the mass production of diamond tools. Industrial diamond brokers were well informed about fundamentally new areas of weapons development, in which diamond technology was playing a prominent role. The world's first turbojet-powered aircraft, the Heinkel He 178, took to the skies in 1939. And in 1934, Wernher von Braun's first rockets launched. Rocketry and jet aviation required a new metallurgy heat-resistant, superhard alloys capable of operating at extremely high temperatures. Machining such alloys could only be accomplished with next-generation diamond tools. The extreme monopolization of the diamond industry and the rigid, single-channel organization of the diamond pipeline, which had been established by 1934, made it entirely possible to stop the supply of industrial diamonds to Germany. All it would have required was a coordinated decision by a dozen people, most of whom were ethnic Jews, and the Nuremberg Laws provided a justifiable justification for such a decision. In this case, the rate of development of the Nazi military-industrial complex would have slowed tenfold, and the contours of the future would have taken on a completely different shape. This possibility was clear to many. At the grassroots level of the diamond business, demands to stop diamond sales to the Nazis were constantly being heard, but industry leaders ignored these alarm bells. At that time, approximately 30 De Beers scythe holders were involved in industrial diamond operations, and they were completely dependent on the will of the monopolist. One order, and Germany would not have received a single carat, and its war machine would have ground to a halt. But things took a different turn. In 1938, Germany became the world leader in industrial diamond imports. That same year, the Munich Agreement was signed, paving the way for the expansion of the Third Reich. It's hard to imagine that the leaders of the diamond industry would be like someone willing to sell bullets to a gangster holding a revolver to his head, simply because the gangster is willing to pay a high price for them. De Beers itself, and those who sell diamonds today traditionally prefer to ignore this topic. On this channel, we'll tell you the real story. You've long been told that a diamond is a symbol of love and purity. We'll show you that it's a symbol of the survival of empires and a trophy in deadly political battles. But be careful, gentlemen, history doesn't have to be pleasant. It has to be true. No trophy is without scars.